Hey everyone, I'm Hector Mirai, and this is Faith and Fandom 180 on LTN Radio. So back in 2016, there was this comic book debacle. In Batman Rebirth, there was this long-awaited wedding between Batman and Catwoman. Issue 50 was advertised and marketed as the wedding, and people had been waiting for it for years, since Batman Rebirth number 24, when Bruce proposed to Selina. So there was all the hype. Posters, cards, wedding announcements were sent out, hundreds of different variant covers. I mean, there was a lot of hype put around this thing. And people were pretty excited. And then issue 50 came along, and there was no wedding. Bruce was left at the altar by Selina, and he was super mopey and emo about it for a hot minute. But then comic books carried on. New writers took over eventually around issue 85. Other storylines have happened. Different writers have gone through it, and it's changed hands a few times. And people have basically just given up on this wedding ever actually happening. And then 6 years later, in what seems like coming out of nowhere, the wedding happened. In Batman Catwoman number 12, not even a mainline book, the wedding from the same writer finally happened, and it was met with universal meh. Like, I bought it, but I haven't heard a single person talk about it that was excited about it or even really satisfied with it. And they basically stopped hoping, and they were surprised but also lost their hope in what they were waiting for. And it reminded me of this passage in Matthew 25 verse 5. It was a parable Jesus told. But he says, "The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep." And there's probably something in your life right now you've been waiting on God to do, and he didn't do it in the timeline that you wanted to. So you basically gave up actually hoping for it. But surprisingly, just like this wedding, it's probably still going to happen, just not when you thought it. Verse 6 says, "At midnight the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him.'" Keep hoping for what you're waiting for. God's not done. Remember to catch Faith and Fandom 180 every Wednesday morning on the Back Row Morning Show, only on LTN Radio. And if you'd like to learn more about Faith and Fandom, head over to faithandfandom.org, where you can learn about our Comic-Con ministry, podcasts, memes, apparel, and book series. You can even read new chapters before they make it to the next book. I'm Hector Mirai, and thank you for spending the last 180 seconds with me.